Hey guys, how's it going? So, we are doing another little live stream. This is the Evergreen for Raptor. Evergreen is just a funny name for an emerine that is actually has some green on him. So, he is a really good breeder, really aggressive male. He's got a full stripe. See, there's no butt band down there. The stripe goes all the way down the tail. So he's pretty valuable in that aspect of most bold stripes and stripes having the little lump on the tail. So he's a true stripe, I guess is what you would call it. So that just makes him better for breeding, because whatever you breed him to, you can breed back to the babies or outcross and breed to the cousins and nieces, nephews, however you want to do it like that. All right. We should fill up our pump sprayer. I'm just going to take a whole gallon. So Late Night Leos is coming back this Saturday. We're going to have Dave Sims on from Gecko World Exotics. I told Dave that he would be the first one on the show, so that's going to be fun. I don't know if you guys are still voting on Ron or Steve being who I asked first to come on the show, but either one's cool. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy and stuff, but they're both businessmen and very successful. So that's Late Night Leos is very unbiased. So really all we care about is a good story. And it doesn't matter if you're a big breeder or not. Everybody is welcome on Late Night Leos. That's the one difference between us and a lot of the other radio shows. I don't really do it for money. It's more for community and getting people on the show. So if you guys are interested in coming on Late Night Leos, let me know, because that is always fun. Come on, buddy. You cannot mate with my hand. Hey, Jesus. Yeah, I like doing the live videos. I don't know, it's just a little more exciting. Come on, girl. Here's my pure Turkmenicus female. She's pretty old. Hopefully this is her last season breeding. I really need to get some more babies out of her. I really need some females, because she is all I have. And that's really not cutting it for me lately. So, Turkmenicus is its own species, kind of like Angermanu, Fuscus, Hardwicki, and of course Macularis, which is all the morphs and the mutts. And then you've got the subspecies, Afghanicus, Montanus, Fasciolatus, and then Macularis, which is its own subspecies. Yeah, and there's some other ones that are being identified. There's Smithy, from a long time ago that they thought was in southwest China. All there is from that subspecies is one example that's in a museum. Hopefully at some point we'll get some genetic testing technology for leopard geckos so we can find out if that smithy is actually its own species or subspecies, or if it's just a hybrid or something like that. But China's so funny because, you know, species die off over there all the time, so it's depressing when you're trying to find things and, you know, you can only find one of something. But who knows? Come on, girl. There we go. So we're actually going to breed this girl. I'm going to flip the page. 02 28 18. We're going to do Turk female cross to Turk male. I'll find out what happens with that. My Turkmenicus male is fairly big. We'll get a weight on him here before we pair him up. Come on, buddy. And he has the 81 grams. Turkmenicus start growing a lot more when they get to past 2 years. I don't know why. That's just, you know, how it goes. But yeah, he's huge and ready to breed. We'll go ahead and clean his tub while I've got him here. I might as well clean his tub, that way when I take him out of breeding I don't have to deal with it. I could just throw him back in his house. Just do that. Don't forget, Late Night Leo's this Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's going to be a lot of fun. Dave Sims, Gecko World Exotics. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. And we're still waiting on those Supergiant Trumper Patty eggs to hatch. So maybe some point that'll get done. Hey, buddy. Oh, you're gonna be like that. I'm just gonna slide you into your tub. There you go. Get some of that out of there. Oh, he smells her. Okay, good. I am doing more of those cleaning videos where I've just got music on in the background, just because YouTube sucks and I'm not getting any advertising money for any of this anyways. So I thought, well, somebody should. So I've got a lot of videos that are going to be uploaded with music in the background and me not saying a whole lot, just whacking through a bunch of geckos. Okay, so 040 female. This is a pure fasciolatus. Let's see, I don't think I bred her yet. She doesn't have any eggs. I really appreciate the support on these videos. If you guys want to support more, share the video. I'm kind of at that point where I need more hours of views. So if you share the videos with your friends, you know, that's awesome. Helps me out. And it helps you guys out. I make more videos. And you get to see all kinds of morphs. As soon as hatchlings start coming, we're going to have even more morphs. So, if the videos keep coming, then it'll be lots of fun. We've got some White's Tree Frogs videos coming up soon, too. I'm doing a huge terrarium right now. It's taking up the whole middle of my shop. Yeah, pretty much all of my projects are on hold right now because I've got everything devoted to the workshop. No, you don't eat that. There we go. Okay, girl. Come on. Alright, so the Turkmenicus are breeding. That's great. That's good to know. Alright, and this chick is ready to breed. 1522. This is a Mac Tremper from Giants, but you know, she's standard size. Mac Tremper het for everything. Which of course is just the basics. Murphy and Eclipse. No, she's not het for everything. She's just het for Murphy and Eclipse. Never mind. Yeah, Mac Tremper het for Ember. She's from Beast, the Supergiant Tremper Patty, my main male that I got from Ron. Crossed to a 1329. No. Oh, jeez. No, she's the female Supergiant Tremper Patty from Ron, crossed to a Mac Eclipse fasciolatus. So, tons of genes. And she's ovulating. I am going to breed her to a Paradox Super Snow, the first Paradox that I've seen that is not Eclipse. Breed her to the Paradox Super Snow. And just basically testing for Eclipse and all of that. Hopefully I'll get some total Eclipses that are possible het for Murphy patternless, because that would be cool. But you never know. So we're going to go ahead and give her some calcium in a little dish for egg production. I just use little bottle caps, whatever I've got. Actually, that is for my water, so I'm going to grab another bottle cap. Just little bottle caps. We drink a lot of bottled water because my wife goes out in the field a lot, and I go out in the field taking care of the rentals and stuff like that. So always do the plant bottle. They use a special flange shape in the lid, so there's no BPA or anything like that, so you don't have to worry. That's also a big problem. You think BPA is bad for human females? Imagine what it is on something like 1,000 times smaller than a human. So that is always something to think about. Okay, girl. There we go. Put you there. Go grab your boyfriend, who is someplace over here. Something you should know also, I see a lot of mislabeling on geckos in the past couple of years. A total eclipse, a super snow eclipse, will not have spotting on the legs. So you can tell that, oh, he's so ready to breed. You see on his left side, he's got that yellow paradox spot. I've never seen that on a standard super snow. So hopefully we'll figure out what's going on with that. Paradox spotting is nothing new. It's not super rare. I've just never seen it on a super snow like that. How do you know when your females are ready to breed? I breed by proportion, so you can always check for ovulations or something like that, but it's not necessarily going to mean that your female is ready to breed. You're going to want to look when her hips are getting wide and her body is changing. That's when you're really going to know. When they're going to be ready to breed. Male. Temp 6 female. Temp 6 male. So once your female's hips start getting wide, then that's probably the best time to start breeding. Because you'll know that she is ovulating and her body is ready to start laying eggs, which is very, very important. That's probably like one of the most important things. And I'll be able to show you on this little female right here. This is a white and yellow red striped bell. Het for Raptor is what was on the label, but I think she's possible het. But you can see how her hips are starting to jet out. That means that her body is changing to allow for eggs to come out of her. So she'll hold an egg here, and she'll hold an egg here, and then they will come out one at a time. And call it macaroni. That's what's up, and that's how it's done. So I hope that makes sense. Of course, her tail is a little thin for starting the breeding season. I won't do that until she is ready, which might be about a couple weeks to a month. She'll be ready to start breeding. I want to try to get at least 10 more grams on her. You want to breed females when they're like, again, it's by proportion. 55 grams to 75 grams is roughly, and that's very roughly, the size to breed a female. Although I have had older genetics where the standard size 15 years ago was 35 grams to breed a female. And, you know, that sounds really small, but when you're talking about a much shorter gecko, it's not small at all, because, I mean, I had an Afghanicus that was 35 grams and she was super fat. I think I got her up to 40, and then it was like, no, her health is more important than, you know, trying to get her up to 55 grams, because, I mean, she was a total sausage. And we can talk a little bit about breeding on Late Night Leos this Saturday if you want to tune in or call in with some questions. Yeah, see, so if your females are 62, 74, and 51, you know, depending on how big they are and what they look like, they're probably ready to breed. But you would need to make sure. This is my newest amazing gecko. Oh, you're from Sweden. Awesome. My family is, well, part of my family is Finnish. So they're... Come on, buddy. Why are you being weird? Got a lot of family over there. This guy. This guy is a beast. I'm gonna have to reset the scale. It was touching the stand next to here. This is a Supergiant Tremper Raptor. He's going to be my new main breeder. He's a Supergiant Sunglow Raptor. Male. Very big, very long. It looks like he's got a battle scar on his nose. You can see right there on the tip of his nose. Looks like he's got a battle scar from breeding. Super cool. I'm trying to breed my Supergiant Tremper Patty male so that I can get another male out of him, because he is ready to retire. And he's just going to... He's going to be in retirement. So a lot of my older geckos are going into retirement. So this year is going to be pretty much, I'm just breeding for future breeders. You can see this guy's head structure. He's probably a lot of leopard geckos will eat a pinky mouse, like a newborn mouse, but this guy probably handle a hopper, something with some fur on it. He's just so big. Okay, we'll set the scale. You're ready to breed to something, aren't you? I wish I hadn't have bred my Supergiant female. But I did, so... Okay, so he's 117. Oh, cool, you like Sunglows too? They're so great. Mm, 117 grams. What was he before? Let's look. Back in my records. I don't think I've weighed him for a while because I might not have weighed him since I got him. Oh, kinktail, yeah. You know, a lot of that is sometimes not genetic and mostly an incubation issue or a vitamin mineral supplement issue. But I've had a lot of geckos with kinktails, especially with all the incubation failures that I've had. I had those Exoterra upright incubators, and those things just fail crazy. It's about 3 months in, and they just quit going. Okay, girl. Oh. Here's some more eggs from this girl. So she's dipping down in her weight. But she's 4 years old. She's gonna be 4. She's like 3 years, 9 months or something like that. So I'm gonna grab a cup. So what I'm using for incubation is the... What morph was which one? This girl? This is the THG organizers. I had to put tape around it because there's holes in them. These cups suck. I will never buy these again. They don't work as well as the Geos. And I wish that Sean Holiday was back, because we really need the Geos. Life sucks without those things. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Okay, so we've got 2 eggs. We're going to incubate for male. I've actually been thinking about getting a hold of his dad or grandfather. Yours look like a box, but yours are like an opaque white color, right? And then it's got some little thermometer in the middle. There's something wrong with this design. Now, Sean, in the Geo, they were all at an angle. These are like this. And I know those rectangular ones from China, people like those a lot. And I will get those. If I can't get any more Geos, then I'm going to invest some money in those rectangular ones. But what I would really like to do is just invest, you know, $5,000-$10,000 and have something new designed, because I mean, this is just ridiculous. I really hate these black THG ones. They're terrible. They're the worst. Alright, eggs. So this is 43 and 44. Hey, Shilpa. No, there is not a lot of money in leopard gecko breeding at all. Like, it's a horrible, horrible thing to invest in. The only thing is somehow people do get very popular very fast, and they make it. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they do. Temp 6 male. What do you think is a good size tank for a leopard gecko? For a single leopard gecko is going to be a 10-gallon tank. If you go down in the description, bbstudios.com, find the link to animals and geckos and care sheets, and I have my leopard gecko care sheet there. It has all the basic, like the very basic care for a leopard gecko, which is not bad. It's not bad care. It's just the most inexpensive basic care. If you don't want a huge rack system, and you know the minimum thermostat for a rack is $100. So if you just want something very easy, you know, a heat light or a heat pad, depending on what kind of substrate you have, I always recommend slate, which works great with, and that's slate tile. You just put it in the bottom of the tank. That works great with a pad or a light. Besides Leo's, I've got the White's tree frogs. I got feeder anoles from Rainbow Mealworms, and so now they're just in a terrarium, you know, chilling and jumping all over stuff. I've got Russian frog-eyed geckos. I've got the Nephrurus Wheeleri cinctus, the rough knobtail geckos. Hardwickie. I've got a pair of Hardwickie. And I think that's it. 0 to 28, 18. Okay. And pretty much everything right now is being incubated for male, because we have, in September, I'm going to be doing the Vegas show again. So I really need to incubate everything, do a 30-day hatch, and get it all taken care of, so I can grow them up and have some geckos that are a couple months old, you know, 20-25 grams, and ready for the Vegas show. We did pretty good at the Vegas show last year. I was very happy about that. And so this September should be pretty great as well. My favorite morph is... Oh, that's a hard one. Can it be a combo morph? Like a Supergiant Total Eclipse. In the future, animals that I would want are chickens. I'm really into because chickens are the same thing as leopard geckos, except chickens are more reasonably priced. I mean, $6 for a chick is very expensive. So when you're talking like $3,000 for a special leopard gecko that's got super cool markings and, you know, just a all-around awesome gecko, Or you can go, okay, $4.99 for a Easter egg chicken that lays like blue to turquoise to green eggs. Like, it lays Easter eggs. That is what I want. Hey Max, what's up? We've still got quite a bit of the show to go. Come on, girl. Now this is the girl that I wish I hadn't bred yet, because she would be with that Supergiant Sunglow in an instant. Like, this would be amazing. I do sell geckos, and they run $100 for the first one, or if you buy 2 to 5, they're $75, and then it just goes down from that. I run wholesale pricing, so it just really depends on what you want and how many. We'll be doing a full room tour very, very soon. Super soon. I am working on, right now I've got some white tree frog projects that are really just taking up all of the space in here, so I believe in showing the room when it's in its prime and not when it's a complete disaster, because right now it's a mess, because I've got a house that's empty that I'm remodeling, so I've got my whole workshop just crazy with projects for that. I've got broken cabinets and stuff. You know, people just leave houses terrible looking. Why are your superworms cut in half when you keep them? I don't even know what that means, man. What do you mean cut in half? Let's see, I've got some... Do you mean like that? Where it's got like, you know, some piece missing? They're dead? That is because they're eating each other. If you mean like that, where it's like... That's from them eating each other. I will get that sometimes when... They are, like these that I just showed you, these are the dead ones that I'm pulling out of a tub. If I have like a bunch of living ones that she's not eating because she's ovulating, then they'll eat each other. And, I mean, this is just in 4 days, they have broken out of their escape-proof dish and just like started munching on each other. I use superworms. I don't do crickets except for the fat tails and the hard wiki. And occasionally with the Russian frog-eyed geckos, the white tree frogs, the anoles, and the wheeler eye. But not with the leopard geckos. I don't do crickets because a lot of times they'll carry parasites and stuff. And it seems like the leopard geckos are just more susceptible to having problems. That's just something that happens, so... Pretty much all geckos have pinworms of some degree in their digestive system, but the problem is when they get stressed... Yeah, you can use mealworms. When they get stressed, they will not be able to fight them off, and then you get the big outbreaks in your room where it's just going crazy. No, I don't do the Pac-Man frogs. I had a really bad, well, not me. The frogs had a bacterial infection, and I'm not sure if I got it from the new frogs or if it's just something that popped up. I did spend a whole lot of money on my Pac-Man frog setup, so I'm like 99% sure that it's not a husbandry problem. I'm pretty sure it's from the new frogs that came in, because all of the established ones... Oh, come on, girl. All of the established ones also didn't make it because of the bacterial infections. So, it had to have come in the water or something like that from the tadpoles that I got. Pac-Man frog is a big frog. It's actually about that size, the big deli cup. Eats anything. You can even start feeding it chickens when it gets big enough. They get to be over a pound. I think I think they can get up to like 2-3 pounds, something like that. But I didn't weigh mine often because I didn't want a big old Pac-Man frog on my scale with my leopard geckos. But they are super cool. Totally cool. They're terrestrial. So they're up on the land. Oh, you bred them a while before? Yeah, I spent $3 grand on a breeding setup with filters and everything all plumbed in my gecko room and ready to go. I even tested it with the tadpoles. Everything worked great. And then I got a shipment of tadpoles that, I don't know, it just got some crazy infection. Everybody did, and I don't know. But I would really like to get back into them sometime. Probably not for a while. Just because I've got other stuff going on. I mean, even with the leopard geckos, it takes a lot of time. But we will be doing a gecko room tour soon. Oh, you bred from 97 to 2005? Wow, that's crazy. I missed the last comment about favorite gecko, I think it was. Probably Supergiants. Supergiants are the favorite. Supergiant Total Eclipse. I wish I would have gotten into Pac-Man frogs a lot earlier, but I'm sure that that would have not worked out with the family, because even leopard geckos, I had to wait until I moved out. I mean, this is what happens when you don't let your kids have animals. They move out, and then they've got like a couple hundred breeders. And then they start just pumping out babies. But here's an example of one that's for sale. This is a male Mac Eclipse. So it's Mac Snow and Eclipse. And I'm not sure if he's on the website or not. I need to update it drastically. Or desperately need to update that thing, because oh cool, you're starting with leopard geckos again. They're the best, I think. But I'm biased. Yeah, this little male is up for sale on the website. He's a lot lighter than the other ones. I got a whole lot of like orange and tangerine and hypo in my Mac Eclipses this year, and I don't understand why. But that's another thing with leopard geckos, is they just come in so many colors that it's crazy. And a lot of stuff is polygenics, so it's, you know, hypo and tangerine. You breed them together, you can get super hypos, you can get hypos, tangerines, super hypo tangerines, hypo tangerines, and normals. I do have an Enigma. He is I think he's a blood emerine Enigma. I don't like working with Enigmas that much, just because I had a huge problem. The first Enigma I got was a female, and when she got stressed out breeding, she would just tap dance and flip-flop all over the place. It was just a really big disaster. Here's a little male. He is het for marble eye. Nothing too fancy. Pretty standard, normal gecko. And he's also up on the website. I don't have any Tangelos anymore. That was probably one of my biggest regrets. I got a Tangelo from Pat. You probably remember Pat Klein. He does dart frogs now. Luxurious leopards. Now it's Dart Frog Depot. I got a Tangelo from him, which was just amazing. Amazing female. Back when Tangelos were Tangelos, and there was none of that high contrast or pastel or, you know, fancy terms for it. Now I even see just total plain Jane Tangelos, just because they've got that white banding. They're being called white and yellow and all kinds of stuff. Oh, did you hear him scream? Geckos scream all the time. Come on, guy. Would you recommend Backwater Reptiles? I would not for a pet, but if you are a pet store or a vendor that's looking for some wholesale animals, then I would recommend getting from a wholesaler like that. The problem with Backwater Reptiles and the problem with those guys is, you know, like you said, the reviews. A lot of people get sick animals. I have no experience with them, so I can't, you know, be biased about that. But I read the reviews, and that's what makes me say that I haven't ever purchased from them. But I'm sure that I hear they're nice guys. Some people say don't buy. Some people say, oh, that's all that I buy from is them. So it really just depends on your situation. They probably would be a good place to get something more rare, like maybe the African clawed geckos, you know, like LLL has those. And I'm sure that Backwater has, you know, fancier stuff, especially if you're looking for a little more rare of a lizard. But as far as like a leopard gecko, since they are a wholesaler, that you might not get to know what the genetics are on the animal. And I have to keep strict records. I love strict records because that's just, you know, I do a lot of breeding, so I have to know where everything came from, when, who, what, where, when, why, you know? If you just want one for a pet and it's just a single one all by itself, then Backwater Reptiles is great. But I wouldn't get one that's going to be introduced to another one. So it's the same with the whole Petco thing. A lot of breeders, myself included, started with Petco animals. That's just, you know, that was the best place to get cheap geckos since back in the day. I mean, they're still cheap. And you get those geckos and you just learn how to breed that way. It's a lot easier than, you know, people starting out that are buying thousands of dollars in geckos. That is crazy. I would never spend thousands of dollars on geckos if I was starting out. But this is a melanistic. He is from my little project. I don't raise mealworms. Mealworms kill me. I just have them when I have hatchlings, but I can't do the whole mealworm chitin thing. I get horrible bloody noses. I'm totally allergic to those guys. I just can't do it. Not anymore. Even superworms give me problems. Like when I'm cleaning them or I'm unloading a box, then I have to have a mask on. I gotta do the dust mask because it's just way too much. And I definitely recommend breeding superworms instead of mealworms. It's just more realistic. A superworm only pupates when it is alone. Mealworm will pupate all the time. So if they're just a lot easier to clean, because if you've got worms, you just have worms. You don't have to worry about pupa and all of that. You can pick your beetles out because they're relatively large. And you can filter and sift your worms, and you don't have to worry about any of the pupa that don't move. Oops. Snow. Male. 54 grams. So that's my whole thing. And then crickets, I would never breed crickets. I wouldn't touch those with a 10-foot pole. They're... Oh, I just threw that away. They're just too much of a pain, and they stink. Crickets stink so much worse than any other bug I've ever dealt with. And the thing about superworms is that, you know, people say, oh, well, I just want the small mealworms. Well, superworms start out very, very small. And then they get huge. Dubia roaches, I did breed those for a while, and yes, they are great for if you want to make money. That's a great feeder to breed because they breed like roaches. The problem is that they stink. They take electricity. You have to heat the tubs. You get these horrible fruit fly infestations, moth infestations. If they get out, you get horrible infestations in your house. And I know people say, oh, they die off every winter. I actually did an experiment where I put them in a tub in the garage with no heat, and I was able to breed them. And that includes over the course of 2 years. So I had winter. So they were, you know, they survived the winter. And here is my Enigma. This is a blood emerine Enigma, possible het, tremper, and eclipse. Male. Yeah, winter is coming. Winter already came. You don't want to hear about the dubia roaches, so... Enigma. Dubia roaches are wonderful. They don't infest anything. They're the perfect feeder to use. And you also have to remember, it depends on where you live. I don't get snow here, so my weather is a lot different than other people. I mean, maybe if you have, you know, freezing temperatures in your garage, then that's great for you. I'm not that lucky. Yeah, he's got a pretty cool little pattern going on his back. But he's not very nice. I haven't been able to... and I don't know if he doesn't produce or if he was just too young, but I'm not guessing it's the young part, because I think I got him a little over a year. Wait, I missed that. How do you what? What's the question? YouTube makes these comments go by so fast that I'm looking at those while I'm cleaning. So just throw it at me again. What heating mat do you use? I use 3-inch flex watt and 3-inch THG heat tape in my racks. Here's a Firewater male. This is hot gecko tangerine rainwater. Oh, this is the female. Sorry, girl. Firewater female. Wow, and she is almost ready to breed. 5 more grams, and she's going to be paired up with my male. She's got such nice coloring. I love Firewaters. Yeah, it's almost like a cool organic... I know it's an animal, but you know, it's not straight lines. Hey, Lapida. Thanks for watching. Don't forget Late Night Leos this Saturday. It's going to be 8 p.m. Pacific, so I'll upload it on YouTube later for all you people that sleep at night. And I hope you guys tune into that and check it out. It should be a fun episode. It will be nice to get back on the radio. Good night, man. or girl. I don't know. Person. There you go. Come on. Here is the Firewater male. He is very small. If anything, the female might be ready, but he is probably going to need a couple more months. I might actually end up having to breed something else to the Firewater female. I wonder if I could get a last minute Firewater male from somebody just for a loan. But albino? This guy is albino. This is a rainwater albino. He has no black pigment at all. Rainwater is one of the 3 albinos. They are Tremper albino, Bell albino, and Rainwater albino. Tremper albino is also known as a Texas albino. Bell albino is also known as a Florida albino. And the Rainwater albino is also known as a Las Vegas albino. So, 2 of them are named after a state and 1 is named after a city. Just because Tim Rainwater, that produced the Rainwater albino, lived in Las Vegas. Ron Tremper, that produced the Tremper albino, lives in Texas. And Bell, that produced the Bell albino, lives in Florida. So that is edumacation for today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you all later. We went over an hour, so have a great day and happy breeding.